Our Fox 5 real estate expert, the Noble agent, Ken Kaplan. Ken, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, let's talk about this. Do we have a bubble on the market again?
You know what? I mean, it's always poised for a bubble depending on what the outside factors are. How's that? I mean, there are too many variables out there to think that it's impermeable and that it can't be changed in an instant.
Let's talk about when this started, because obviously a lot of people are, we heard this a decade ago, 10 years ago, and then eventually it led to what happened in 2008 in the Great Recession. So when did this new supposed bubble begin?
Well, we started our comeback probably in that 2008, era. It started to come off, 2005, and then, really kind of hit rock bottom. That 2005, 6, 7, and then 8, we were kind of on the rebound, starting to come back. And we've had a nice, strong, healthy growth in the real estate market for probably 5 or 6 years now. And the challenge is, how long will it last? Well, okay, let's look at the interest rates. We know the Feds are meeting for the next 2 days to figure out if they're going to raise the rates, which if the banks raise the rates will probably push some buyers away from the table. And then the other part is, what's going on? What's the inventory like? Well, inventory's up. Prices have been going up steadily, but the affordability rate for some buyers has really put it out of reach. That may be a pushback factor that people aren't looking at. And the deal is, you can't buy for the short term.
Right.
If you're buying for long term, you don't worry about getting hurt or a bubble because you're in for the long term.
Okay, let's talk about the timing of all of this. When are you forecasting, if we could do that, for this latest bubble to burst, if it's going to happen?
Okay, here's the thing. There's nothing we're going to be able to do to stop any bubble from bursting. But the one thing we can do is, as buyers or as consumers, is make sure it's the right time to purchase or to sell for us. If you're a seller, now is without a doubt the time to sell. Now, you are in the holiday time, so if you're putting your house on the market, people know you're motivated if you're going to have people coming through. So I think you're going to see more inventory coming on the market after the first of the year on people who held off specifically for that reason. Now, if you look at what the inventory is, and the inventory has been rising throughout the county, if there's a massive influx of inventory over the next 60 days, then we're going to see, I think we'll see prices starting to come off. How quickly they would come off, that would be, up to, again, a lot of different outside factors. But if you're going to buy, now may be the best time because of the rates, and because if you're in it for the long term, you don't care whether the market goes up or down. You're in it for the long term, and you know what? Later on down the road, when you want to sell it or you rent it, you're in good shape.
Okay, so you're saying the interest rates are low, so you want to buy now, but maybe some people are hearing that the bubble is going to burst. Maybe I'll wait for the bubble to burst.
They may, but then we take into account the rental factor. The rental vacancy rate now has gone down, by almost half over the past 2 months.
Wow. So,
I mean, there's not as many units available for rent.
To what do you attribute that?
You know what? I think there are the people who said, I'm going to hang in there because I can refinance my house. I can get a great rate. I'm going to keep it for the long term. I think it's people being conservative. The challenge is people are getting priced out of the rental market, and they're having to move further and further away.
Yes.
So you put that in combination with the fact that interest rates are where they are, housing prices have gone up, and it doesn't necessarily make it as affordable as certain people think it is to buy than rent. Yet there's nothing to go to rental-wise because the inventory's low, and the prices on that rental rate are high.
Seems like in San Diego, it's expensive to buy, it's expensive to rent, it's expensive to do everything. We're hoping here that if this happens again, obviously, that we learn something from 2008.
I think what we need to learn is, don't take unnecessary risks.
Okay.
If you're going to buy because it's the right time for you. If you're going to sell, sell when it's the right time for you. Don't base it on the outside factors, because you know what? Anybody can roll the dice, and that's how everybody got hosed the last market.
True.
Is that they were rolling the dice. Don't roll the dice. Play it conservatively, and you never have to look back and go, I wish I would have.
That's good strategy. Ken, thank you. If you have real estate questions for the Noble Agent, you can hit him up on Twitter @TheNobleAgent. Thank you again, Ken.